Adam, it was our first state without you in a long time.
And clearly, Mad City does not need me.
It's showtime. This is The Ski Show, the ultimate show ski podcast, and your one and only source for all things show skiing, bringing you news, knowledge, and interviews with the legends and stars of our sport. Here are your hosts, Matt Heilman and Adam Schaller.
Welcome to the Ski Show, still the only media on the planet dedicated to the sport of show skiing. We've got an awesome episode lined up here. We're going to be recapping the regionals that have already taken place, the Southern Regionals, the Central Regional, and we're going to spend the lion's share of our time on the Wisconsin State Tournament with winning show directors from each of the three divisions. We're going to highlight all the action. You're going to get it here firsthand. What a great weekend that was.
Yeah, and let's start today talking about our two main episode sponsors. If you don't know about the board shop by now, I'm not sure that we can help you. They literally have everything you need for both summer water sports and winter board sports.
Yeah, and whether you need skis, boards, and bindings, or you need apparel and accessories and more, they've got it all. You need to visit their store in Lake Geneva. It's an awesome spot. If you can't get there, make sure you hop online and check them out at bswake.com. That's bswake.com. Adam, we also can't forget Saga Sports. We want to talk about them here right out of the gates as well. A lot of athletes have trained with Saga, and they've absolutely crushed it at state. The Fedorowicz siblings are taking their game to new heights because of the time and training that they put in.
Yeah, that's right. They do on-water training, but in particular, they also do trampoline training for freestyle jump. Learn the technique and air sense on the trampoline without all the harsh falls on the water. Then you'll be ready to take your jumping to the next level. You can check them out at sagasports.us. That's sagasports.us.
Yep, great stuff. Thanks to those sponsors, Board Shop and Saga Sports. Really appreciate them. Still missing, Flyman Skis. Nick Lyman is still recovering. We continue to pull for him each and every day as he works his butt off to try and make a full recovery. And so best wishes to Nick and Jack and all that's going on there with them. Let's recap the Southern Regional first here, Adam. It was held a few weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Cypress Gardens won. They're coming to nationals, but it was a very close second place by Tampa, who is literally about 1/3 the size of Cypress Gardens. My takeaway from that tournament, and I watched the shows on the webcast, I had a chance to watch both of those shows in their entirety, is that my takeaway is how close Tampa made that. It was less than 40 points between first and second. It was like a David versus Goliath. And Cypress Gardens has oodles and oodles of talent. And they won the tournament as they should have. Mm-hmm. They did really well. But Tampa really impressed me, particularly with their stage and production and theme. It was fantastic.
Yeah, and that's where we've talked about this, right? Mm-hmm. Ad nauseum on this podcast, where points can be made up, even if you're a smaller team, by your production and all the other things that aren't skiing. And, Tampa took advantage of that, and holy smokes, under 40 points. Second place.
And in that vein, Cypress Gardens has decided to ditch their theme from regionals and put a whole new theme in place for nationals. I think they saw what happened regarding stage and production. They are revisiting with some tweaks and changes, but an older theme they've done is a blockbuster movie type theme. And they're going to roll to nationals with something different than they did at regionals. I'm guessing in an attempt to increase those production scores.
That had to be a very long and difficult conversation and decision to make, but to switch up your theme mid-season, right? I mean, just think about that. Okay, we just competed at Wisconsin State, and we're going to decide to change the theme. As an announcer, I might lose my mind, but hey, good for them. They recognize a weakness, they're going to address it, and they're coming to nationals. So hell yeah,
I love that, and I'm excited they're coming to nationals. We love having the South involved. The very small region, but mighty, and looking forward to seeing them in Iowa in a couple of weeks. Congrats also goes out to male MVP Ryan Welch for Tampa, and also for Tampa, MVP female of the tournament was Trina Sardania. So congrats to those two, crushing it, doing well. Well done by the entire Southern region. Let's talk Central Regional. That was held the weekend before state.
Okay.
And it was a monstrous victory by Wonder Lake. They won by nearly 450 points over the Lake City Skiers. So Wonder Lake is here. They're talented. They've got numbers, and they stomped it at Central Regional.
Can I ask a question? When was the last time Wonder Lake didn't win Central Regionals?
It's a beautiful question. It's a beautiful question, and I wish I was smart enough to know that answer.
I feel like they've just dominated that region for so long.
I think even in the years Lake City, cranked out top fives at nationals, I don't think they beat Wonder Lake at regionals. I'm not sure if the Backwater Gamblers ever did. I'm sure there was a time that potentially Backwater, I don't know if it goes all the way back to Ski Bronx when they were stronger. But they've been, we should get the numbers, because if we recite how many regional championships Wonder Lake has, it's probably on their website. It's impressive.
Yeah, right.
They are a powerhouse, and they're going to be ready for nationals, and they're doing great. The MVP male for the Central Regional was Eli Hildreth from the Ski Bronx. And the female MVP was Ava Schlichting, a name we've talked about on here before. She's been nominated for many podcast awards. She had quite a weekend. She competed in virtually every event you could. She took third in swivel behind Paige Pashina and Bria Lebda. She took second in swivel pairs behind Paige and Bria. She took third in doubles. She took first in intermediate women's freestyle, and she walked away with the female MVP for her performance in their show. So well done, Ava.
Sure. They must have a separate room in their house for all her hardware.
Oh, man. Yeah, she took home a lot of trophies and plaques that weekend. So well done in the Central Regional. Lake City Skiers were second place, and looking forward to seeing those teams at nationals and seeing what the Central Region can bring to the D1 and D2 stage. Ski Bronx are hosting D2 nationals this year. We'll be recapping that on our next episode. All right, time to recap Wisconsin State. And I want to roll through the individual results first, and then we're going to talk about the team stuff, and then we're going to get into our interviews with show directors. Open swivel, Allie Crumry was first place. She was super impressive. Dominant good, is her time, and she was fantastic, and she was fantastic in their show too. She has been kicking butt this season, super impressive. She was first place. Lexi Gunderson was second place. Great to see her there, and it was a really nice lineup of swivel this year. Lexi had a big day. Besides her second place in individual swivel, she took first in swivel pairs with her sister Brooke Gunderson, and they won swivel pairs for the second year in a row. And the swivel pairs lineup was stronger this year than it's been, and those two stood out. They look beautiful together. Corey and Kim won their umpteenth state championship again in doubles. always insanely impressive. They continue to plug away and reinvent themselves and do great things and win. Team jump was won by Krivets. They did
tell me about that. Tell me how that played out.
Yeah, so Kale.
Now, do I get points because I picked Krivets as a team?
No,
in their team jump.
You get nothing. We're gonna review our fantasy draft points later.
Unfortunately,
but you get nothing for that. Krivets, your favorite for the season, did great in team jump. So did Shermalot. Both really good jump acts. Krivets had 4 skiers on one boat, and Kale was on one ski, and the others were on 2.
Okay.
And they did, like gainer, flip, flip, gainer, and Kale is doing an inside gainer on one ski. They had a great jump act. Shermalot did as well. I was a little surprised that Shermalot kept all the Fedorowitzes on 2 skis for the entirety of their team jump rather than one ski. But they skied very well and did great. Women's freestyle, let me chime in. Mad City snuck a podium finish in team jump. We only half filled the pickup boat this year. Wasn't all full.
Tradition continues.
Yeah. Women's freestyle, Sarah Fedorowicz, what more can we say about her? She flips and gainers as well as the men on one ski. She attempted a back half on her 3rd attempt. She's going to make one of those.
Yep.
And she is incredible. And so Sarah walked away with the women's freestyle crown. Men's freestyle, the top 3 really stood out. A nice lineup of talent, but Logan Fedorowicz came out on top over Ethan Schulda and Cale Duquesne.
And how old is he?
17, 18.
17. So he walks away from the weekend knowing that he beat Ethan Schulda.
He beat Ethan Schulda, who did a front half and a back half. How, you ask?
How?
Logan Fedorowicz made a one ski 720.
Wow.
One ski 720.
720.
And
when's the last time that's been done?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. Like Paul O'Connor and Liam Klotzbach were doing 2 ski 7s.
Right. 2 skis. Yep.
Correct. Logan is doing 1 ski 7s. I had a chance to talk to him about it after their show, actually, on Sunday. And I was like, have you been getting money on those? And he was like, no, I didn't do them again until Tuesday. He went 1 for 2 on Tuesday, sent it in team jump and nailed it. And he sent it in their show off the kicker and made a 1 ski 7 off the kicker in their show. So he then hit ball on a 1 ski front flip, got a little bonus points there. He ended up edging out Ethan. Cale did a 1 ski mobe and took 3rd place. Great lineup, awesome talent, really good stuff in the men's freestyle.
Look out 90s. We might be in the heyday of freestyle jumping.
Oh, it's so fun. It's going to be wild getting all these guys together for the Team USA training camp. I mean, starting to get these guys on the ramp together is going to be super fun. Team scores. Division 3, first place, the Wapacua Chain Skiers with a score of 1,047 points. They edged out Twin Bridge by 12 points, who had 1,035 points. Congrats to the Wapacua Chain Skiers. I watched their show beginning to end. Was entertaining. Their production was great. It was funny. It kept your attention. They had the most unique act with a cool trios aerial thing they did. They had a really nice show. So kudos to the Chain Skiers. Division 2, Shawano Ski Sharks came out on top with a score of 1,374 points. They edged out the Browns Lake Aqueducts, who were second place with 1,307. It's been a matter of time for Shawano, and we're going to talk to their show directors Ryan and Hannah Strawn, and we're going to chat about that. But it's been, in my opinion, a long time coming. They've been growing immensely the last couple of years, and this was their time, and they did it. So congrats to Shawano. Division 1, Mad City, first place with a score of 1,829 points. The Rock Aqua Jays were second with 1,692, and the Aquanuts were third with 1,654. The Division 1 MVPs, Ethan Schulda won the male MVP. I thought Cale might have a shot at that. He skied in quite a few acts, but Ethan came out big. He had a great show. And Sarah Fedorowicz won the female MVP for Division 1. Adam, I know you were at State for a little bit. I know you watched some shows. What were your thoughts on the tournament?
So busy weekend for us, was up. I did watch the live stream, the end of the day Saturday, and then was there on site for Sunday. Can we talk a little bit about the resurgence of trick skiing?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That Aquanut trick act was freaking awesome.
But there's also there's a lot of teams that now have a trick act.
Yeah,
right?
Shermalot, Mad City's got trickers.
I mean, there were years where it would be, the Aquanuts usually had one or two guys that were really good, but every other team, maybe you saw a pass in a montage that was maybe an invert. But now it's, you got, Shermalot, Mad City's got a trick act, and Aquanuts are head and shoulders above everybody else with their, well, I saw that on Saturday on the live stream, and I was blown away. So that was
Shermalot's trick act is awesome. They unfortunately had a couple of falls in it, but they have some really talented trick skiers. But the Nuts act blew me away. I mean, Ethan was doing insanely huge stuff, like
Rayleighs.
Back landings going monstrously big.
Yeah.
No wake front flip. Ethan did a no wake front flip.
I don't understand the physics behind that.
Yes.
How that even works.
And Ryan Emmering won best trick skier of the tournament in that act. They stomped it. They almost won. They almost had one of the highest scoring acts of the tournament with their trick act.
Yeah.
Really well done. And you think about the shows, from a Mad City perspective, we're going to talk to Jack and Abby in a little bit here. But, there's a lot of unknowns going into the season because you retired. And we had to replace you. And I don't want to, blow smoke up your ass, but, replacing a legendary world and national champion announcer, one of the best in the business, is a tall order, and you're expecting a major drop off, and the expectation coming in was that was going to be an unknown. How was sound and production going to be for Mad City? And I was thrilled and surprised at the results.
Yeah, Mad City won the sound and announcing box score and production, right? So kind of continuing their tradition. And, a lot of that has to do with the culture of Mad City, right? We build our show around stage and production, and everybody on the team knows the kind of work that goes into that. And Paul, the new announcer, was part of the production crew last year. He was on stage, so he had kind of a front row seat to this is how we do it. This is how it gets done. This is why we are good at what we do. So he took that, right? And he is almost maybe as much OCD as I am about things, and he puts the time in and the work and the rest of, Jackie obviously is back on sound. Jenny's back on stage, so that helps, right, to kind of help things along. But they put in the time because at the end of the day, it's the amount of work that you put into it, and it's the repetition, and it's the support of the show directors and the skiers Because if you are in a position on a team where you're constantly changing the act order, there's just no way for a stage crew to get comfortable with that show. And Mad City's just done a tremendous job throughout the year. Like, okay, this is our act order. We're pretty much going to commit to this. And yeah, maybe there's some tweaks, but for the most part, that just gives the stage crew consistency, and that has paid off. So we're able to take a guy that, we've talked about this before. Paul he's comfortable on the microphone. He's a musician. So it was just kind of a natural progression for him. Now he's not as familiar with show skiing. Like, this is very new to him, like just the terminology and the stuff that he's seeing. But he's a very relatable guy on stage, right? Everybody can just kind of to relate. And I think everybody knew, like, I think there were probably a lot of people there to say, okay, let's see how this goes for Mad City. Are they going to implode? Or, because as the new announcer, you probably got a little bit, you got some big shoes to fill, and hot damn, stepped right in, and Mad City's in good hands, man. I mean,
How was that for you to watch? What were the emotions for you to see that? Was there, talk to me about that.
Well, and by the way, so the people that haven't forgotten about me and recognize me at state, that was probably the first thing that everybody asked me. How was it watching the show from the bleachers? And yeah, probably the first state show I've watched from the bleachers since I don't know when. But it was very enjoyable. Like, just to kind of sit back and be able to watch the show, the whole thing, and just not, just to be able to enjoy it, right? I don't have any, obviously, yes, Mad City is my team, but I don't really have any skin in the game. It was just like, I just want to sit back and watch the show and see it. And it was a great show to watch. And, but, in the back of my mind, I'm taking notes. I'm like, okay, because after we finish this podcast, I'm going to get right back to watching the archive webcast, and I'm taking notes for the production team, and I'll be sending those off so that they can get working on some of those things. But it was really cool, and to then stay the whole day, hang out with the team, and then stay for awards, and to hear those box scores called out, and just like, wow. I mean, it was a proud moment, actually. It was.
That's what I was wondering about that.
It wasn't a FOMO moment. It was just like, this is really cool. Like,
I like that you said that, because I was wondering if there's a sense of pride, or because there also could be those feelings of like, oh, like you mentioned at the start, like they don't need me. I guess they're fine without me. Maybe they never needed me. But at the same time, I was talking to Paul Wendricks. We were in the water celebrating after, and he said it perfectly. He said this was a team victory, and it was the contributions from people not on the team. You helped, like, laying the groundwork and the foundation for what production and announcing looks like on Mad City, and Paul being able to then learn from that and learn from you and emulate what it takes to be great. Don Heilman helping train and mentor a brand new driver we had in the driver's seat this year, and Nate, our new triple rig driver in our second triple rig, drove great. All of those people played a role in this coming together and being who we are, and like you said, the culture is what it is because of the groundwork laid by those before us.
I mean, it was almost like a proud dad moment, right? Just like, and I would say this to anybody that steps away from the sport, is that was, awards yesterday, Sunday night, was almost just as fulfilling as being a part of the team, because it's cool kind of being in a coaching / mentor position. And so if you've been in the sport a long time and you're stepping away, you've still got something to give. And it was awesome. It was really a great weekend.
That's a great attitude, and I love to hear that. And like, we get done and we win the sound crew box score, and you're there and Paul's there, and the thought crossed my mind. I mentioned it to Jack, and it's like, did we hit the jackpot? Like I equate it to Green Bay Packer football. Like we had Brett Favre, Hall of Fame QB with a long legendary career, 20 years, and out comes in his first year Aaron Rodgers, MVP and Hall of Famer. Like, did Mad City just hit the jackpot and go from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers? Time will tell, but Paul impressed me. I watched our show back, and he sounded like a veteran.
Yep. Like,
he has already caught on at a high level. He's charismatic. He's likable. And the production came to fruition, and that was so cool to see.
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe we got lucky with, kind of stumbling into Paul, but at the end of the day, it's the amount of work that he put in, right?
Hard work
the
pays off.
videos, the shows that he watched, the questions that he asked, and the text messages back and forth, and the emails, and he's on the 20th version of the script. I mean, he's never afraid to ask for help.
Every day at practice, he'll ask me about something.
Yep.
You are with him, mentoring him all along the way. So it's been fantastic. So fun weekend at Wisconsin State. Let's move in, Adam, to our interviews with our winning show directors. Well, joining the show right now is show director of the Division III Wisconsin State Champion Wapacua Chain Skiers. We have with us Craig Maloney. Welcome to the show, Craig.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you bet. Congratulations.
Yeah. Congrats on that championship. Let's dive in. It's so fun. Tell us about that moment when they went through the scores and they announced the second place score, first place score, and in second place is Twin Bridge, and you know that you are the state champions. How did that feel?
Felt great. Honestly, it was a great moment for us, actually. So,
now, were you guys gunning for that top spot, or was this a big surprise, or you kind of knew you knew this was coming?
We were gunning for it, but just the way the show went, I didn't think we had a chance. I thought we were going to be middle of the pack again. We've been taking third the last couple of years. And so just the way we skied, I wasn't quite sure we were going to make it up there. So
when you heard there was 7 or 8 point difference and it was really close, were you nervous?
I was, yes. Yes.
I mean, that's a close margin. We've been there, and then all of a sudden you're sweating. You're like, oh, man, is that us? Are we going to be announced in second? Holy crap.
Yeah, I think it was only 12 points separating first and second. It was a close one this year.
12 points, yeah, that's awesome. For you guys, like, what would you say were the highlights of your show? I had a chance to watch it. I tried to catch, a handful of shows over the course of the weekend at State. I watched yours cover to cover. I was super impressed with it. What do you guys think was your kind of shining moments in your show?
Well, I think we stepped up as far as the whole production goes. I think the production took it away for us, but I was pretty excited for our one-act shows to go through. We didn't quite get the pyramids up, but we had 2 side-by-side going through show course. Pre-built was also, that was a highlight of our show, I think, too.
Awesome. What were the I'm sorry, I didn't look at the box scores, but what were some of the box scores, Matt, for chain skiers?
Yeah, I mean, your production stood out, right? You guys won that box score.
That's huge.
And super entertaining. And when you do that, when you have an entertaining show, you Craig mentioned that maybe you didn't think it was as perfect of a show as you hoped it would be. But I echo your sentiments. Like, the production stood out to me. I loved the trio with the aerial hoop, and you guys won the most unique act with that. That was so cool. Because we're a team that does trio with a pole, and our team loved it, and it was so cool to see that.
Yeah, that was something we had talked about in the off season. The girl that did it does dance, and that's actually one of her aerial rings that she had. So we figured we'd try to get it on a pole and see what we could do with it.
What's next for the chain skiers for the rest of the season?
So we got a couple more shows coming up, and then we do special exhibition style shows for different lakes that we ski near. So we'll be doing those the rest of the year and winding down.
How late do you guys go in the season?
About mid-August,
Okay.
second or third weekend in August.
Very cool. And when do you guys start? When's your first show?
We start beginning of June, I think second weekend of June.
Okay. Yeah, so a very compact season, but sounds like you put in a lot of work to get up to state and took it home this year. That's awesome.
Yeah.
You guys ready for Division II next year?
I think we are. I think we've been waiting to get up there. We've been trying to be competitive again. So I think we'll have a good show next year.
Well, that's awesome. We're looking forward to that. Again, congratulations to you and the Chain Skiers. I, for one, really enjoyed your show, and I know everybody did. The judges obviously did, and what a great accomplishment to win that state championship, and kudos to you and the whole gang. So thanks for being on the show today, Craig.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, congrats again, Craig.
Next on the show, we've got the show directing duo from the Division II state champion, Shawano Ski Sharks. Let's welcome to the show Ryan and Hannah Strawn. Hey guys, how are you?
Good. Thanks for having us today.
You bet. Congratulations on your state championship. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. I mean, you guys are. How old are you, the two of you? You guys are two of four siblings. And I know you guys, through my son Jack, was friends with your brother Sam. You got four siblings, right? Total of four of you. How old are you two?
Yeah, I'm 20 years old.
And I'm 27, so we're the oldest and youngest of the four.
Oldest and youngest. All right. Well, that's great. Well, congrats to you guys. Let's dive in and talk about the state championship show. I'm assuming, given your growth over the last couple of years in numbers, in talent, that you've been gunning for this for a couple of years now. Is that fair to say?
Definitely. I mean, our family's been on the team for, I think, 13 years now, and we've now skied every division, majority of it D3, D2. But in these last 2 years especially, I think our team's doubled in size, and so it's been a big change for us, a big adjustment, figuring out how to run a team like this.
How many members do you have?
Just over 100 now.
Oh wow.
And I think
Okay.
it's about half skiers, half non-skiers.
Okay. It's a
Yeah,
big team.
we've been watching your growth, and you know the bird's eye view from us, the 30,000 foot view, is that you guys are a Division I team playing in Division II. Like, we've been waiting for you to get there because you're good enough, you're big enough, you're talented enough, and we've been waiting for this moment. And it was fun to finally see it come together because you had some struggles the last couple of state tournaments. This one went better for you. What stood out in this performance this time?
I think just our flow in general. I mean, as soon as that opening act came out, perfect. I mean, the barefoot pyramids, the jump was solid, and then our whole opening pyramid came through. I think the team was in really good spirits and kind of pumped up, and we moved through everything quickly. The boat drivers were right on, so everything just came together like we do at our home site, but it's been a few years since we've seen that at state, so we were really happy with that.
Yeah, and it's not just for your show, but for pretty much any ski show. If you can start those first couple acts, first 2, 3, 4 acts, and like they're supposed to go, that really just sets the tone for the rest of the show. Skiers are excited, drivers are excited, and it helps tremendously to start strong, right?
Right.
Yeah, and you guys, I had a chance to watch your show from start to finish. Glad I did. I was hoping to see you guys put it all together. As you got to awards, what was your expectation after you had finished the show? You had maybe seen some of the other D2 shows. Were you thinking you were in the driver's seat, or were you a little nervous?
We watched, I think, Aqueducts before us, and we were watching their stuff come through, and kind of like we got to put on a good show. So after our show, I knew we did a lot. We were proud of it because this is the best we've done in the past couple of years. Usually a couple things go down, but we were really happy at the end. So I figured we were at least in the top 3 for sure. And then we watched a couple other shows, and I was like, I think top 2 sounds pretty solid for us. But when they announced the last 2 scores, I had my head in my hands. I didn't know what was going to happen, but we really wanted this. So I was just so happy when our name got called last. So
Yeah, I think we were so happy with how everyone skied. We would have been satisfied with whatever awards brought, but obviously it felt pretty good hearing that. So
And so it's on to D1.
yeah, we'll see.
You ready? Are you nervous for that?
We're a little nervous. I mean, we have the numbers, we have the team and the dedication. We just gotta put it all together, and we'll see how it goes.
And I think you will. Your scores are right in line with the middle of D1. I don't see any reason from afar that you guys can't be a top 5 or 6 D1 team and put that together on the regular and continue to grow even into more than that. But I think having that level of competition now is probably going to help you guys elevate your game and be ready for Division I. What are your thoughts moving forward as you now enter this new level of competition? Are you starting to think about D1 Nationals at some point? What's the mindset of the team going forward?
I don't think this team has thought a lot about that. We just a few years ago were such a tiny little kind of community team. We had fun at the home site, and that was about it. And we've grown into what could be a lot more than that, I think. So it's not really a discussion our team has had yet. We've never really traveled for nationals tournaments. I mean, we've hosted a couple years, and obviously we ski then. But other than that, it's a big team with a lot of big families too.
So that's going to be a culture shift, right?
Absolutely.
To make that?
Right.
So what's that going to take to shift the culture to make you guys a regular competitor at the national level, not just at the state level?
I think it's just those couple people, we're not really sure how many it is, but we sent out a survey this year, and there's just some people who are like, I'll go if the team goes, some that want to go, and there's some that are like, we don't really want to go, we just want to do state and then put on our home show. I think the main thing this year why we weren't looking into nationals, we have our 50th anniversary alumni show. So after state, we were kind of like, let's entertain our home crowd and let's try to get as many people back for that show. And then we're bringing back some of our old members, as many as we can, to try to use them in our show. So that's kind of our focus this year. But in the next couple of years, maybe it'll shift and it'll open their eyes saying, like, we are a good team. We should be going to these national competitions and kind of making a bigger name for our team.
Yeah, for sure. Now, how late do you guys go into August? When's your last show? When's your last home show?
I believe that second week in August. So we have 3 or 4 more shows. We have a lot of college kids, so at that point, a lot of them start heading back. So that's why we end a little earlier in August.
So D1 Nationals potentially extends your season a little bit, right? I mean, because it's kind of D1 Nationals would be that second weekend in August. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, so that'd be something to consider too.
Yeah, well, just know that the show ski world is rooting for you and hoping to see you there and hoping to see you guys as a regular competitor at that level. I'm always a believer that getting to that level is so fruitful, so fun, so cool to be in that competitive environment and grow your team. It helps sustain a team energy. Mm-hmm. I think it's great, and we'd love to see you guys grow into that. But congratulations. What an awesome state championship. You guys should be super happy with that performance. And, again, kudos to you and all of the Ski Sharks.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
All right, time to move on to Division One, and our next guests are the show directors of the three in a row, three-peat, Wisconsin State Division One state champions, Jack Heilman and Abby Kothe. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, this is what we do, Wisconsin State Recap. We have the winning show directors on. Not your first time on this podcast in this role. How did this one feel compared to the last couple of state championships?
Every state championship's awesome. I can't lie and say they don't get any more fun than the one before that, so we're pretty pumped to win again this year. I'd say this one was pretty awesome. I mean, we've been skiing great coming into the tournament. We kind of felt like we had a big, huge team, a lot of talent, a lot of numbers. So we were really excited and felt like we could really put together a great show this past weekend.
Yeah, and I think just kind of interested to see how it was going to go without having Adam this year. I knew Paul's been working super, super hard on everything, and from the moment he stepped into that announcing role, he's taken it very seriously and has gone above and beyond what I think any of us expected and could hope for. And with the help of a lot of people on our team and Adam and Jackie and just a lot of people that are kind of helping him along the way, we knew our skiing could be really awesome, and we're just excited and interested to see how that stage was going to go. So we are really super excited for that stage crew, that they won sound and that they won production. Just kind of that like cherry on top of a really great show. And I think Jack and I were kind of hoping that we would ski a little bit better than we did. Like Jack said, we have been skiing really well, and so as our show kind of came to a close, there were a lot of things that we knew that we could have done better on and hoped that we could do better on. So really, really awesome and exciting to win, even though we had a few hiccups along the way.
Well, I mean, yeah, watching the Aquanuts and RAJ ski late Saturday, it was kind of same thing, right? They didn't have super clean shows, but they were good shows. Mm-hmm. And what was your feeling after the show or throughout the day on Sunday, kind of going into awards? Were you like, we're third, we're second, we're gonna win? Did you have any inkling at all of how this was gonna play out?
I feel like after watching the show Saturday night, we kind of told the team and felt like if we stomped our show, we could kind of shut the door really quick and feel really awesome about how Sunday was going to go. And then after we skied and we had a decent amount of falls, we kind of didn't really know. And, I mean, from Abby and my perspective, we don't see how stage goes the whole show. We don't really know how that showmanship plays off on the crowd and the judges. And so we were left with kind of a question mark. Like, we didn't ski the best show. We're really hoping that those box scores are going to carry us, that stage was awesome and drivers were awesome. And so I felt like we thought we were in a good position, but again, it was really like, how do those box scores go? We felt like we left the door open a little bit.
Yeah, and I think I always go into it expecting the worst, so you don't get your hopes up, right? Like, we know that we skied decently well, but you don't want to go and be like, yeah, this is going to be great, we're going to go to awards and it's going to come out how we want. And then you get there, like years have in the past, where you go in with this confidence and all of a sudden, you're kind of like have that little heartbreak where you don't get the results that you want.
Right.
And so I usually try to go into it thinking like, whatever happens is going to happen. Obviously you want to win, but if you don't, everyone skied a great show and had different aspects of their show that were really awesome. And so I always go into it thinking like, there's a chance, and don't get your hopes too high so that you're not
You've
sad.
kind of learned that perspective from me. Like, I'm always the skeptic.
Yeah.
Forever the skeptic, right? And it's been harder to predict the last few tournaments, what the judging is going to do and what it looks like, and some close results over the last few years. It's been a bit unpredictable. My questions were the same as yours leading in. Like, were we going to be okay on the sound crew end We got done with our show. I didn't know if we'd win towboat driving. I didn't know if we'd win sound crew and showmanship. And those things ended up standing out. Mm-hmm. And from a skiing standpoint, we're always our own worst critics, right? In the heat of the moment, in the immediate aftermath, we're like, we could have done better, or X, Y, and Z didn't go right. Yeah. And then you watch the show back, which we did, and none of the falls were really that penal. We had a lot of little falls, but nothing that killed the show or the momentum in any meaningful way. They were still, the show still continued to hum along. Flow still continued to hum along, other than a couple minor hiccups. So I find that, we end up being our own worst critics. And then when you reflect on it, you realize, we have this big, strong, talented team, like powerhouse team.
Right. Yep. And then, fast forward 2 awards, and Mad City takes home Best Ballet, highest scoring act of the tournament, right? Which was Jump 1. Yep. Were there other acts? I mean,
those are our only acts, but box scores.
Right. Yeah. Then you jump into, then you're like, okay, all right, we scored some decent points on some acts, and then you get into box scores, and you're like, okay, we just won towboat. We just won sound, and we just won production. At that point, I was thinking, game over. Mad City's got this. And at the end of the day, which I think we all thought it was going to be close, you could have taken those top 3 teams and announced them in any order, and I don't think anybody would have been surprised. But I was truly surprised at the point gap, right, from first to second.
And I think it was interesting too, right? The first 2 box scores were dock and equipment and pickup boat, and they both went to RAJ. And leaving the show, I think a few things that we've learned in the past is that the little onesie twosie falls, honestly, are worse than a big blow up, because then it's hurting every single act. And so I think going into it, we knew that we had a little falls here and there, and then RAJ takes the first 2 box scores, and so right after that, my heart kind of sank a little bit of oh gosh, this is going to be a really, really interesting award ceremony if they start getting towboat driving and all the other things that wouldn't have been surprised with just because of how well they skied, and just their their other components of their show. And so I think then once we got towboat and kind of you get a little bit more excited as they start reading off those things. But
yeah, because we kind of figured we skied a better show despite the falls of the other teams. We just needed box scores to fall our way a little bit, and we were great that day with all of that.
Right. Well, I guess the big question would be, again, congratulations. This is 3 years in a row for Mad City winning the awesome. The biggest water ski tournament in the world. But what are you going to do to seal the deal and take this to the next level and win nationals?
I mean, it's been 7 years since we've won. We haven't put together shows that have given us a chance to win nationals in years past. We've just kind of not shown up ready to go at nationals. This year, I mean, we feel like we have the talent, and now after the state, we feel like we have the stage and the sound and the towboat to be able to pull off a national championship. I think the key is truly just executing our show to a high level at nationals. It's a brand new site for a lot of these teams. It's a smaller site, so we can't jump too far and try and throw out too big of things if we don't think it's going to work there. So I think it's truly about executing what we know we can, because we have a lot of high difficulty stuff, so we just need to ski really clean and avoid those mental errors and kind of tiny mistakes that can kind of eat at your score.
Mm-hmm. And I think just kind of echoing what Jack was saying, just those starting to get those reps of the site change, we are going to do things a little bit differently than we have in years past and even at state. And so just changing, what our opening and ending direction of our pyramid is, or how we ski tandem or prefab a little bit differently. And so just starting to get those reps tomorrow, we think is a really essential piece. And after this meeting, we're going to kind of go through and look at the pieces that need to change and just start communicating with everyone that's going to impact, whether it be Paul or our boat drivers or kind of whatever that is. So just that the skiers, right, we know that we have the talent that we can do this, but there are a lot of changes that have to be made. And so starting as soon as we can, I think, is going to be really vital to being able to execute the way that we hope we can.
And part of the challenge having, obviously, we've done this together. I've been in your shoes. And the small teams are going to hear this question and be like, oh, woe is me. It's a big team problem. But you take a giant show to a smaller site. How does that decision-making go in your mind, or maybe you're not even fully there yet, where you might actually have to scale things back from state, or at least resist the urge to get too big, as Jack mentioned, like, Ending Pyramid could get up to 44 people, but can we turn that there? Prefabs could go to 6. We've got the numbers, but can we do that at that site? Like some of those things, how does that decision-making play out? And how do you resist the urge to balance the difficulty in numbers versus the execution at an unknown site that we haven't been at before?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say part of it is we kind of know that Nationals is going to be really competitive. Like, we've heard of what could be up to like 7 teams in the mix for a first-place trophy at Nationals, which in our minds means we need to execute a show and ski it clean, which kind of doesn't make us feel like we need to make things huge, because I think whoever skis the cleaner show at Nationals will win. Another awesome thing that's huge for us is, as much as we make fun of our ski site on a huge lake in Outlaw Park, we've actually mapped out their lake with buoys, so we can kind of practice these things pretending we're on that lake to mimic what we think we could do. And then it does put a little more pressure on our smaller, more skilled acts to stand it up if we have a lot of big stuff that might struggle a little bit. And I feel like those things were awesome at state. I mean, like, all of our skiers that were in 8+ acts, Carter, Parker, Gabby, Press, Abby, all skied awesome. And we kind of need that again at Nationals, where the things they're doing aren't as affected on a small site.
Yeah.
And I think just, starting to get that practice and seeing, are there weak spots that we can kind of look at. We are really lucky to have a lot of people. And so, if we throw out 444s and someone is struggling, day after day or whatever it might be, like, we are really blessed that we can kind of make those personal changes, which is a bummer to hear and to say, but, like, it just is reminding us that we can ski, like, we have the potential to put out the best people in these spots, and hope that then we can execute, like Jack said.
Yeah, it sounds like, so this site is really going to kind of level things up, right, in terms of numbers for teams. So execution and box scores is going to be what wins.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's like the Jack mentioned, there's a lot of teams with talent, like the Otters and Hartwick Huskies, and those two teams get a rep this weekend at that site because Waterhawks are hosting the Midwest Regional. And, it's a good year for RAJ to be smaller than they've been in the past because they're going to a smaller site. And so things like that. Wonder Lake did awesome at their regional. And so it's going to be super competitive. And so that strategy piece, I think, will play a role. And then it's going to be, right, the team that makes the fewest mistakes on an unknown site, a new national site, that's going to likely prevail.
Yeah.
What was the standout moment in the show for you guys in that state championship show? What do you think was the shining moment?
I think our prefabs would be that's the first thing that comes to mind is prefab. I think skiing aspect, we have been doing prefabs like pretty consistently since 2019. I don't think we've ever had a tournament where we've actually skied prefabs clean. And so just, that feeling of getting off the dock and seeing everyone next to us skiing away clean was a really, really awesome moment. So I think skiing, that would be mine. And then going back and watching just the stage, I was really impressed with. So it was exciting to get to go back and watch it and see how well the stage crew did.
Yeah, I would echo those words. I think prefab was a big turning point for us. We, up until prefab, had only skied jump 1 clean. That was our only clean act in the show. And then kind of making prefab, the team knew how much that act meant to us making that, and also the crowd reacted awesome. I mean, everyone was on their feet for that. It was really big, and then the rest of our show kind of hummed along after that. We had Our other couple jump backs were fine. Our second ballet was great, and pyramid was awesome. Swivel was awesome. So I feel like that kind of lifted the energy back up again.
Yep, I agree. Watching the show, 100%. Prefab started turning tables on the show. It was awesome.
Yeah. And it even felt like the energy on the water and introductions were much better after that too. Not to say they weren't great to start the show, but they continued to be good after that.
Yeah, and I think Paul did a really great job. I don't know if people caught it, but one of our middle pyramids had a giant knot in the third tier's rope, and so just kind of the chaos of like we're sitting at the end, our pyramid is that far lakeside, and so we can just see chaos happening in the middle, not really sure what's going on, and you could hear Paul doing a really great job of like, okay, they're not quite ready. What do I need to do? And as a new announcer, that's really hard to do. But he did a great job of not giving it away that like, oh gosh, something's going wrong and what is it? And then not only did he do a great job with that, the girls in that pyramid and the guys did a good job of not freaking out and being like, okay, whatever happens, we're going to make this decision. And that topper that had a knot didn't freak out, didn't get in her head, and then being able to stand it up. So even a little bit more exciting.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, awesome, guys. Congrats. It's fun to see you guys as young leaders continue to thrive and grow and help this team be great. And it's an honor to watch you guys lead and do your thing. And looking forward to what's to come at Nationals. So congrats to you both. And let's have a great Nationals.
Yeah,
Thank you. We're excited.
All right. Before we wrap up today, we want to update where our fantasy draft is from our tournament season preview episode. Matt, Adam, and Dave, we all drafted teams. We drafted a couple of individuals. We're keeping track of points based on regional and national finishes. So here's where we're at right now. Dave has 108 points. He's got 2 teams left to compete at regionals. He's got the Midwest Ski Otters, and he's got 5 seasons, both competing at regionals. So he's still got teams that haven't had a chance to accumulate points yet. He's got 108. He's got RAJ, Badgerland, Silver Lake, Shermalot. It's looking like RAJ and Shermalot may be Division I candidates. At Badgerland, I'm not sure if they'll make it. It depends on which Wisconsin teams go to Division I Nationals. Adam, you are actually – so Dave is in third place right now in points.
Mm-hmm.
Adam, you are in second place in points. Mm-hmm. You have 160, but you have 3 teams left to ski regionals. You have 2 in the Midwest, the Twin Cities River Rats, and you have 2 teams left. My bad. I read that wrong. You have 1 Midwest team, Twin Cities River Rats, and you have the Oxbow team from out east.
Good for me.
So you have 160. You have Mad City and Cypress Gardens. You got regional champions for both. You have contenders for nationals there. I think you're in a good place. Your other teams are Crivets. They're probably done. You have Kale and Josie as your individuals. They may, if the Crivets isn't at D1 Nationals, they're done in your draft.
Yep, that's a lesson for everybody. Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Yep, you did. But you got some power. You got Lake City. They'll be at Division I. We'll see where they finish, what points they can give you. First place currently is me with 194 points, so 34 more than Adam right now and a crap ton more than Dave. I only have 1 team left to compete at regionals, though, and it is the Hartwick Huskies, which if you've been watching any videos of them, I am looking really good. They are crushing it right now. Triple 1-ski gainers, 5-tier pyramids, huge ballet lines. Hartwick Huskies are here to play, and I'm here for it.
You just freaking jinxed it.
I got the Nuts. I have Wonder Lake. I have the Ski Sprites, who I hope they get their butt to D2 Nationals and win it. Or the Ski Bronx, who I have, are going to be hosting D2 Nationals. They'll be there. I have the Web Footers, who took 4th at state and are certain to be at D1 Nationals. I have Sarah Fedorowicz, state MVP, contender for Willa Cook. I'm looking great.
Way to go.
You look thrilled.
The Ski Sprite show is very entertaining.
It was. My kids were talking about this today. What was your favorite show of the weekend? And For them, it might have been the Ski Sprites show.
It was fun to watch.
Now, Ben Walker, my son Eli Heilman is a Ben Walker fanboy. He calls Ben Walker his GOAT. He loves watching him. Ben Walker, they did a whole skit. It was actually intended to make fun of Derek and Carter when they did their Speedo thing for Mad City.
Yeah.
So they did this whole Speedo dance. And then they did like Grant Tolsman-esque Speedo barefoot circles.
Deep water starts.
Yep. Deep water starts, and everybody's like, good God. One did a back and one did a front in just Speedos. And Ben Walker came in a little hot on his landing.
3%.
Landed ankle deep.
Which was it was a fantastic landing.
Fantastic landing. He was not in jeopardy of going out the back. He landed with his hands were kind of down in the water, but he's
stood
literally
right up.
ankle deep.
Yep.
If I would have owned it at that point, I think he should have owned it and moonwalked backwards onto the stage. Yeah, he couldn't have swam. He couldn't have pretended he was less deep than that. Right, swim out. Yeah, he should have swam out.
Yeah.
But good stuff. Yeah, Ski Sprites had a very entertaining show. So great stuff. Couple other points of news. We got our Team USA training camp. You've probably seen the post of all the invites there. Really looking forward to getting all these skiers on the water. We also have invited multiple drivers and announcers and sound, of which, Adam, you are one. We're going to be performing mini shows on Tuesday. We're going to be putting we're putting 3 teams together from all of the people at the training camp, and they're going to be performing mini shows. Going to be super fun. See what they all put together. The boys from SeaWorld, Adam, SeaWorld, Texas.
Unreal.
Triple front half. Ty Carson, Eli Carson, Bryson Mace. They also did Mobe, front half, back half.
Yeah. Remember when I said we might be in the heyday of freestyle jumping?
Yeah.
Like
insane. They're having a good summer there. Those boys are having a great summer. So great stuff. Congrats to you guys. Thank you to our sponsors, the Board Shop. All your summer and winter board sports gear is yours at bswake.com, and Saga Sports, trampoline training, on-water training. Check them out at sagasports.us. Our next episode is going to be in a few weeks. We're not going every 2 weeks right now. We're going to wait until after D1 Nationals. We're going to recap both D2 and D1 Nationals with our next episode.
And, of course, thanks again to all of our listeners and our viewers. This is Matt and Adam, and this is The Ski Show.
Thank you for listening to The Ski Show, the ultimate show ski podcast with Matt and Adam. If you have questions or ideas for the show, find us on social media or message us at theskishowpodcast@gmail.com.